What if preferring to be alone isn't a sign of social weakness but a marker of high intelligence? Most people assume that smart individuals thrive in constant conversation and collaboration. But psychology tells a very different story. In a world that celebrates nonstop connection, some of the sharpest minds quietly choose solitude. And the reason goes much deeper than introversion. Psychology and neuroscience reveal surprising patterns about intelligence and solitude. In this video, you'll discover the real reasons highly intelligent people often prefer being alone, and why this tendency is frequently misunderstood. Stay until the end, because the final insight challenges one of the most common beliefs about success, happiness, and human connection. Highly intelligent individuals often seek solitude because their brains perform better without constant stimulation. The behavior looks like isolation, but psychology reveals a different mechanism at work. Research shows that complex problem-solving requires deep focus, which is easily disrupted by social noise. From a neuroscience perspective, solitude reduces cognitive load. Fewer external inputs mean more mental bandwidth for abstract thinking, pattern recognition, and long-term planning. If someone prefers being alone, it often means the mind is optimized for depth rather than breadth. Studies indicate that high IQ individuals gain less pleasure from frequent social interaction because it interferes with this mental clarity. A quiet environment allows ideas to fully form instead of being interrupted mid-process. But here's what most people miss. This isn't withdrawal, it's mental efficiency. Smart people often rely less on others for emotional regulation. This behavior can look distant, but psychology suggests it reflects strong internal emotional intelligence. Research shows that higher cognitive ability is associated with greater self-soothing capacity. Instead of seeking constant validation, intelligent individuals tend to process emotions internally. Their brains engage in reflective thinking, allowing them to analyze feelings rather than escape them through distraction. Solitude becomes a space for emotional clarity, not avoidance. If this pattern feels familiar, it actually signals emotional independence. The mind learns to sit with discomfort, analyze it, and integrate it. And this matters because emotional self-sufficiency predicts long-term resilience. One of the most consistent findings in intelligence psychology is this: highly intelligent people gain less satisfaction from casual conversation. Not because they dislike people, but because their brains crave meaning. Behavioral psychology shows that intelligent minds seek novelty, depth, and conceptual challenge. Small talk doesn't activate these neural reward systems. As a result, social environments centered on surface-level interaction feel mentally draining rather than energizing. If someone prefers solitude, it often means the brain is selective about stimulation. Quality outweighs quantity. One deep conversation can feel more fulfilling than dozens of shallow ones. This explains why intelligent individuals may appear quiet in groups but deeply engaged in one-on-one discussions. The real reason goes deeper than personality. It's neuroeconomics. Psychology reveals that intelligent individuals are more aware of cognitive fatigue. Their behavior reflects strategic energy conservation. Social interaction, especially in groups, requires constant mental processing, reading cues, adjusting responses, filtering noise. Studies indicate that high cognitive performers subconsciously protect their mental energy. Solitude becomes a way to recharge the brain, similar to how athletes protect physical stamina. If someone declines social plans after a mentally demanding day, it actually shows advanced self-awareness. The brain recognizes diminishing returns and chooses restoration over depletion. This isn't antisocial behavior, it's cognitive sustainability. And there's a fascinating consequence. This awareness often leads to higher long-term productivity. Many of history's most innovative thinkers shared one trait: a strong preference for solitude. Psychology explains why. Original ideas require mental space free from conformity pressures. Neuroscience shows that when alone, the brain enters a state called default mode network activation. This network is responsible for imagination, insight, and creative synthesis. Social environments suppress this state by demanding constant external attention. If someone enjoys being alone, it often means the mind naturally drifts into deep creative processing. Ideas connect, patterns emerge, solutions appear unexpectedly. What looks like disengagement is actually incubation. And this is where breakthroughs are born. Highly intelligent individuals tend to be more perceptive. Psychology reveals that greater cognitive ability often comes with heightened awareness of social subtleties, like tone shifts, microexpressions, and unspoken tension. This increased sensitivity makes social environments more mentally intense. While others may filter out background emotional noise, intelligent minds process it all. Over time, this becomes exhausting. If solitude feels calming, it's not avoidance, it's relief. The brain finally gets a break from constant interpretation and emotional calculation. Research on sensory processing sensitivity supports this pattern. High awareness leads to deeper understanding, but also faster overload. The mind chooses quiet not because it can't handle people, but because it understands too much. Smart people often prioritize depth over breadth in relationships. Psychology suggests that intelligent individuals form fewer connections, but invest more meaning into each one. Instead of maintaining large social circles, they seek alignment in values, curiosity, and emotional maturity. This selectivity can be misinterpreted as aloofness. In reality, it reflects intentional connection. Studies indicate that high intelligence correlates with lower need for social approval. Relationships are chosen, not accumulated. Solitude fills the gaps, not loneliness. If this resonates, it actually shows strong relational discernment. And here's the surprising part. This approach often leads to more stable, fulfilling bonds over time. One of the most fascinating findings in psychology is this. Intelligent individuals often derive happiness from internal states rather than external stimulation. Research shows that high IQ individuals report lower dependence on social activity for life satisfaction. Their brains find reward in learning, mastery, and self-directed goals. Solitude supports these sources of fulfillment. Constant socializing can actually reduce happiness by pulling attention away from what feels meaningful. This challenges a common belief that happiness requires frequent social interaction. Psychology suggests otherwise. For intelligent minds, fulfillment often comes from autonomy, purpose, and mental engagement. If being alone feels energizing, it's not a deficit. It's alignment with how the brain experiences well-being. Preferring to be alone isn't a flaw. It's a pattern rooted in how intelligent minds process the world. Psychology reveals that solitude supports focus, creativity, emotional regulation, and deep fulfillment. What's often labeled as antisocial behavior is actually a sign of cognitive depth and self-awareness. These traits don't reflect disconnection, they reflect discernment. Understanding this reframes solitude as strength, not deficiency. If this perspective added clarity, subscribe for weekly psychology insights that help decode human behavior and deepen self-understanding. The next video explores why overthinking is often linked to high emotional intelligence and why it's misunderstood.